what's up?
There you are. Hey,
You look like Marvin Hagler, man. Who are you? You look like Marvin Hagler.
hey. Hey,
All right, what's going on?
I want to tell you guys something. I've done hundreds and hundreds, thousands of radio shows, thousands of interviews, but I have to say that the show that I did with you two guys was the most fun of all.
Yeah,
I
that was
He's a funny guy.
I loved it. I loved learning from you, KC, and I loved having that fun with you, Muhammad. So let's do this. I'd like to properly introduce you. The name of this show is Inspirational. It's all about having guests on the show that inspire others. There's another possibility, inspire. And I met KC.
You could always call me what all the children call me when I travel.
KC.
Mama Ali. They call me
Oh, Mama Ali.
Mama Ali. Yeah, I'm everybody's mama. So
hey, mommy.
hey, yeah, especially you.
Ah! So it must have been about 5 or 6 years ago. Mama Ali and I were at the same event together.
Right.
And whenever there's an interesting person at an event, I try to go say hello to them. I'm a Hollywood kind of guy. I was out in Hollywood for 10 years,
Right.
twice for 5 years, 2 different times. And people who make the world go around are so much more interesting to me than someone who just goes to work, goes home, takes out a 6-pack of beer, falls asleep, goes to work, goes home. So 5 or 6 years ago, I met your beautiful mama at an event, and we had just the nicest talk. Casey was just the nicest woman. We had such a great time. And then a year or so later, I was doing a radio show out of Palm Beach County. And I held on to your card. And I said, hey, I'm doing a show. Would you like to come on? You said, sure. And that was a really nice surprise for me because, I really didn't know too much about you. And, I knew you were Muhammad Ali's first wife, but I said, I would really love to hear a lot more about her, a lot more about Muhammad. And so I invited her to the show. And then some other guy walked in with her. I don't know if I remember that if she was going to bring somebody else with her that day. I don't remember. But what a surprise. And Muhammad Ali Jr., so we met each other probably about 2 or 3 years ago on the radio show.
Yeah.
I think you had a little more hair then.
Oh yeah, I cut it off.
Yeah.
It got too hot. It got too hot.
It's from the people of Afghanistan. It's at BB Dr. Khalila Ali Victory Stadium.
Wow.
It says Afghanistan loves you.
Wow. Beautiful.
And it's made in the stone of Afghanistan called lapis lazuli.
Oh, lapis. Yeah, sure. Beautiful.
Made out of lapis and written gold on a,
That is beautiful.
yeah. So yeah. So this is the guy we make it in his honor, in Muhammad Ali's honor. And that's been my mission ever since.
Your mom says you look like Joe Frazier after a fight with your dad.
I look like Holyfield.
Marvin Hagler.
Oh!
Well, rubbing for luck.
Okay. So was I surprised when this gentleman walked in? Casey, did you tell me he was coming, or was it a surprise? No, it's a surprise, right?
It was a surprise. I didn't tell you anything. You said what?
No, I said, it was like, who is this guy? I really had no idea. And when you told me it was your son, the only son of Muhammad Ali. It was like, wow. And then I still had no idea other than that's really great. That was
Yeah.
really nice
Did I do
of,
my father for you?
Yeah, you did. He did. Muhammad started sounding like his father. That's
Did
when
I
you.
do my father for you? You wouldn't want me to do it?
Yeah.
go ahead.
I'm a Muslim. I'm a Muslim. That's my religion. My name is no longer Cassius Clay. There's nothing against my religious belief. I murdered a rock, injured a stone, hospitalized a brick. Man, I'm so mean I made medicine sick. I done wrestled with lion. I done tested with a whale. I done handcuffed lightning throw thunder jail. Man, I'm so fast. I turn off the light, hit switch, get back for the room, get dark. That's fast.
Oh, that's just
I want to go fight the Viet Cong. The Viet Cong never called me nigga. You my opposing come to freedom. You my opposing come to justice. You my opposing come to equality. I want to go fight and kill innocent people just like myself. None of free here at home.
yeah. That's that speech, all right.
Yeah.
So when the show started, I think, Casey, if I remember, I don't have great memories this way, but when the show started, I think you started saying to me, you know, my son here sounds just like his father when he wants to do his father's voice. I said, really? And then you were so shy, Muhammad. If I remember, you were very shy in the beginning, and you really weren't giving me anything. And I was like, okay, listen, we don't know each other. And then you started doing your dad's voice, and it was like, oh my God. And first I was just so like stunned, and it took me probably a while until we really started having fun with it because I didn't
I'll
expect
do
it.
another one. Here goes. I talked to Howard Cosell. He said I wasn't the same as I was 3 years ago. I talked to his wife. She said he wasn't the same as he was 2 years ago. His hair's phony come from the tail of a pony.
Wow.
My
So
mother, when my father was still alive, my mother called me and she'd be like, I'm calling these people. I want you to talk like your father. And it's crazy because when the thing that I said to these people, my father actually said to them. And I didn't know that. God put it in my mind to say these things. And they was like, yeah, that's what you said when you saw me. I was like, really? I mean, I was thinking to myself, really? But I never told them who I was. They thought I was actually my father.
Mm-hmm.
well, I don't think anybody could do it better than you. And you
No.
sounds like you were doing it for, now it's so how did that first come? Is that when it first started? You first started doing your dad's voice was like back then what you just described?
No, I used to do it all the time. I mean, I used to mimic my father and things he said when I was a little kid. But as I got to an adult and I actually got the voice down, people loves it. I close deals that way. I make people happy. Girls and guys always say, ooh, I got goosebumps. I got goosebumps. It's like I'm standing here. If I close my eyes, it's like I'm standing here with my father, your father. And I was like, people love it. So that's why I do it. Make people happy.
I felt the same way at the radio show. I really did. I really felt your dad's energy with us at that show. And I really felt he was there with us through you. May sound a little strange. I really
To be
felt
honest with you, since my father passed away, I've been talking to him. He's been coming to me and telling me things that I need to do in the future. He said, I need you to when you make it rich, I need you to buy everything, every property that I have, keep it in the family. I was like, okay. He said, Deer Lake. He said he wanted me to buy Deer Lake and turn it back into a training camp. He said, I have a museum already. I don't need another museum. I want there to be a training camp for all boxers. So I'm going to do that too, hopefully.
very nice, very nice.
And
So
the people that own Deer Lake, Pennsylvania, didn't actually, because I was going to do like a little film in there of me doing the Arabic prayer, at the masjid that he had built there, and they told me I couldn't film there. I was like, why not? This is part of my family's history. And they kind of had us to erase all the footage. But I'm not going to go back to Deer Lake until I own it.
So KC,
Yeah.
you had such an incredible story to tell when you went way back into your teenage years. Tell me about those teenage years.
Those teenage years is finally gonna come out through my untold story, The Real Woman Behind Muhammad Ali. Out of all the books they wrote about Ali, none of it is in it. It was more like people just wanted to hear him about boxing. That they never really got into in depth of the real story, how we connected, what I did to help him, those kind of things. That wasn't never told. So, and that was during my divorce year when he decided to put his book out. So it was like a touchy situation during that time, that era. So they didn't come around me to ask me anything because it was a touchy situation. So now I get a chance to write the true story between him and I that nobody knows about. And it was my participation in his life was during his best times of his life. So the inspiration he got from me and we got from each other made headlines. And that was just the best part of his life.
So how did you meet? What were you doing? What was he doing?
That's in the book, how we met. But a lot of people think all the things that they were talking about is like it's like I met him in a bakery. Hell, by the time I got to the bakery, he was getting ready to ask me to marry him. So I didn't meet him in no bakery. I did not meet him. That's why the book is going to come out and tell how I met him at an earlier age, but it wasn't about love or anything like that. It was just an encounter, and the encounter was done in 1960. I was 10 and he was 18. And the book would tell that particular story.
I actually have a story that mommy really don't know about my father. I'm actually bringing it to your attention right now.
Wow.
I had asked my father a question, and my mother used to sneak out the house and go do karate without my father knowing. And I asked my father one day. This is actually the first time she's hearing this, and I asked him, "I know you had a whole lot of professional fights, Daddy. What is the fight that you'll never fight again?" And don't get spooked, mommy. But he said he thought about it. He said, "Hey, Foreman, Joe Frazier, no." And he thought about it for me. He said, "Your mama." Because what happened was, my father snuck into the house, my mother's their house. He had a key, so he snuck in. He usually tell her that I'm home, but he didn't do it this time. And he snuck in and put his hand on her right shoulder. And from that point on,
he came up behind me.
Yeah, and he scared the hell out of her. And what happened was, she had flipped him. He got mad. He said, "Mama, she crazy. She don't know what she did. She obviously don't know who I am." Then he thought about it for me and said, "How did she do that?" So I explained to him, Mommy told me that she used to sneak out the house and go have karate class with Bruce Lee.
Yeah, I did.
Bruce Lee had the same shidoshi.
Yeah.
So,
wow.
Oh my God.
I did. I used to sneak out. That
shocked the hell out of me, because I thought he would have said George Foreman, Joe Frazier, or somebody. He said my mama. I was like, what?
It's because I flipped him. I didn't know it was him. You don't walk up behind a karate person. You don't do that. You don't walk up behind a karate person in the dark in your
And mommy didn't
house.
know, mommy didn't know that. This is the first time I bought it to her.
You just don't do things like that,
She
man.
said, "Oh snap! I remember that."
So, Casey, one of the things that was so, and you know, I want you to show the book, or if you have the cover, or I'm glad to let people know that they can get your book. Definitely.
Oh, another thing. You know, I'm continuing my father's legacy because he had a video that stated, she said, "This is Muhammad Ali. When Daddy's finished, and I'll take over." So he's talking about I'll take over the legacy. What I'm doing to take over the legacy is I'm doing the last thing he ever did in his life before he passed away was anti-bullying. My father had a knack on knowing what was going to be important later in life. And he said, this anti-bullying is going to be important later in life because these kids is going to get depressed and they're going to start killing themselves and others.
Wow.
The children are our future. So we have to protect our future. We have to preserve our future. So he said, I'm going to start this anti-bullying because I know it's going to be necessary later. So that's what I'm doing. I'm creating gyms. I'm going to build gyms all over the world for anti-bullying for children. And we're not stopping there. We're going to do cyberbullying, workplace bullying, single parent home bullying, senior citizen bullying, the police bullying, and the United States Army bullying.
Wow.
Because, you know, Biden, he's bullying people now.
Oh, yeah.
So we got to stop that from happening.
Right.
But if we're starting with the children, because the children, our future comes first.
So if you're going to do one of these centers down here in Florida, and I know you will because your mama's here.
Oh, for sure.
You make sure you let me know. So not that there's a million things that I can do, but whatever I can do to help you guys, I'd be glad to.
And the saying that I'm going to put on there is, float like a butterfly, sting like a bee, stop bullying, be like Ali.
Nice. Very nice. So, Casey.
Yeah.
Give me a little bit. Tell me a little bit that you don't want to tell me, because one of the most interesting things was you met this young man and it was such an interesting story. People are going to read your book.
People thought they was brothers and sisters, the stature and our flamboyant, outgoing way that they spoke and carried themselves. They thought they was actually brother and sister.
Yeah, because we have the same kind of mannerisms, and it was a lot of people who
love you, Mama.
Wow. Yeah, I love you too.
So you met a young and cocky Cassius Clay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tell them the story about that, Mommy.
Huh? The cockiness?
Tell them the story about that. How y'all met and what happened.
Well, when you meet a person like that, when I met him the first time, I said, this guy, this is why the book is going to be so important, because there are details in it that nobody have never heard before. And we were a lot alike, and I supported him when he needed the support. Now, you have to realize when we married each other, we were together. There wasn't a whole lot of people around us. There wasn't no entourage and all of that kind of stuff. It was just me and him and I. And we went everywhere together, met people together. We talked over what to say and what not to say.
The story now.
Yeah. All right, Muhammed. All right.
Stick to the story. Come on now.
You gotta read the book. You gotta read the book.
Come on, Casey. Give me some.
Come on.
You gotta read
on,
the book. If I tell, you're not telling what your story is, so why should I tell what my story is? I did. I'm telling stuff in detail. It's kind of hard to tell you without the details. So the only thing that I can tell you is that we traveled a lot together. I helped him along the ropes together, going to different places when he was in exile. 3 years of exile. This man was in his prime. He couldn't fight. He couldn't go out of the country. The guy was depressed.
Actually, that's when y'all actually met, when he lost his title.
Yeah, well, no, I didn't. I didn't meet him when he lost his
Oh
title.
no.
No. No, see, you
Oh, I
trying
thought
to
he could. I thought
no,
he kicked him out of
I
school
met
because he
him when
couldn't fight.
he had just won the Olympics in Rome.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. I didn't know
No,
that.
no, no. I married him after uh he was in trial for being the conscientious objector, but I had a lot to do with that. So there was a life with me and him before we got married.
So
Oh, okay.
what did you have to do with that, Casey?
Well, I told him, he was going coming around Muslims all the time, coming to our mosque, and I was working with the Elijah Muhammad at the time, serving dinners and tea and coffee at the house of the leader. Then he was interested in being a Muslim, and he said, "Hey, if I become a Muslim, will I be smart as that 10-year-old?" And they said, "Yes." So, you know, he always had me in mind because I'm the one that when he gave the autograph to me, I tore it up, gave it back to him because I couldn't accept a slave name or a name that don't have a culture. Like he had a Roman name,
Well, let me put it like this: in religion of Islam, a Muslim woman can't marry a non-Muslim man. So that's why she was like, I can't marry you because you got this
It
slave
wasn't
name.
about that then. I was too young at the time. It wasn't even about that. When I
I know,
met
but
him,
I'm just
way
saying those
before
are the
they,
rules of Islam. You couldn't marry a
yeah,
non-believer.
that was later. That was
Yeah,
later. Yeah. So it was. I told him he wasn't going to be famous with that name, the slave name, Clay. That's like dirt you mold. I was into the culture back then. I knew more about the list Islamic laws than he did, and I kind of exposed that to him so he'll know it. Yeah,
And so you made the suggestion that he change his name.
yeah. I told him you need a better name than that, bro. Yeah.
no, he
So
changed his name because he liked her. He wanted to be a Muslim so he could marry her.
Ah!
greatest, and we know all Muslims know that only Allah is the greatest, not an individual. So it kind of
Yeah,
contradicted what he was saying until he got wind of it and he stopped saying I am the greatest. He stopped saying it because that name, the greatest, only goes toward the creator.
yeah. I went to my dad one time and I said, "Daddy, everybody say you the greatest, but you know God is greater." And that's what we say, Allahu Akbar, God is the greatest.
Yeah.
That's what it means in Arabic.
Right. Excellent. So, Casey, what was it like those 3 years
It was
when?
terrible. It was terrible in a way that Ali was depressed a lot. He was upset that he wasn't going to ever fight again. Um,
What did he do?
Tried to pick up his spirits by going different places. I said, you know what? We're gonna do a new thing, okay? We're gonna we're gonna campaign just like a person campaigns in the political world. I'm gonna campaign and make you the people's champ. And if enough people say you're the people's champ, maybe they'll give you they'll overturn everything and give you your license. So we went on the campaign as him being the people's champ and picking spirits up. And I made little buttons with his name on it, said the people's champ and this picture of our Clay's face. And we just start campaigning everywhere he go in the different colleges,
And
different.
Elvis gave him the robe, the People's Champ robe.
Yeah, and then Elvis Presley gave him a people champ's robe. He gave me one too, but Bundini took it and sold it for drugs.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah, it was bad. That was a bad news. They would keep things instead of giving it to me. They would take it and sell it.
so he goes through 3 years, and I remember. I mean, I wasn't that young. I remember this. I thought of it as a terrible thing I knew, just like we're learning now, that things aren't always what they appear.
Yes. Yeah.
And
A lot of people didn't realize that a lot of Ali's inspiration came from me. And we were a team. Husband and wives do things together. Nobody knows what they do. Something more intimate than just a friend. Uh, Husband and wives stick together for survival, and I told them it would be good if he would just go to the colleges and speak to the young people and tell them how much he cares about their lives, how much he cares about the rights that he stands up for, and how he stands up for his religion. And it was beautiful. But we had some little stories to tell during those trips, which is in the book. We would drive. We had a car, and Mr. Dibble gave us a car, and we would drive to different towns. They didn't see us airplane tickets. They would just tell us to be there at a certain time. So we would kind of afford to fly all the time. So we would drive from Chicago to that state for him to speak, and we didn't have GPS then. We read maps, and I would read the map. I was pretty smart, so I read the maps and he did the driving. And I remember when I got tired one time and I went to sleep, and I told him, follow the map like this. It's just a straight shot.
He got lost.
I woke up. I say, Ali, where we at? He said, well, I think I've been lost for an hour. I said, an hour. He said, well, we've been lost ever since you've been asleep.
Yeah.
Fortunately, I have a good sense of direction. I got us back on the road again.
so do you think that the work that you did to get Ali back in good taste with whoever was, giving him such a tough time, do you think what you did helped put him back in good standing?
He did, because I told him, I said, you know what? Don't be mad at what people do to you, because you're standing up for a reason. And when you're doing something for a reason, it's a good thing. And people, you always are going to get tested when you're doing something right. So, accept what they're giving you, accept the pain that they're giving you, because in the long run, you're going to come out the star. So, just stay strong. And one day you're going to get a call on the phone and they're going to give you your license back. I mean, this is just something I thought would happen, just a mother's intuition. And he asked me, say, hey, how do you know all this and you've never been anywhere? How do you know this? It's just instinct, and sure enough, 3 years later, he got that call.
Wow.
Said, you said this was going to happen. How do you know this? You predict things?
So there was really no certainty that he would ever get back in good graces.
He never believed it either. I said, you got to believe it, because wow. I know that you'll be back. You know why? Because you're a good fighter. And those Italians, they're going to want to see him fight again, and they're going to want that money. They're not playing. They're serious. They will bring you back. Trust me. It's inevitable. It's inevitable.
Mommy, I saw on the news where there's a fighter that looks just like Daddy that fighting now.
I don't believe it.
Huh?
I don't believe it.
You mean he looks like him? He might not fight like him, but he looks like him?
Yeah. I mean, he's good too.
What's his name? I don't believe it.
I forgot his name. Some. I gotta ask Rich, but it's a fighter.
I know there's one fighter that looked a lot like Ali.
Yeah, that's the one I'm talking about.
No, this one has gone away now. Back in the day, he looked like Ali.
No, this guy looks just like Daddy.
I'm gonna tell you, this guy looked a lot like Ali,
play.
but he was under Cuba's president, Fidel Castro. His name was Stevenson. He did.
Who? What's his name?
Stevenson. He looked he looked a lot
No,
like
that wasn't his name. It's somebody else.
Theo Stevenson.
Yes, yeah. And he asked Fidel, he wanted to have a fight with. He said, "No, you can't fight him. That's our champion. We're not gonna let you fight him," because he knew that Ali would win. That's why he said no.
Casey,
Yeah.
what was it like when he came back and he had to work out for that first fight? And I'm sure he was pretty rusty. Do you remember that first fight after he came back?
No, his first fight he was doing fine on the first fight. That was the whole point. We kept him in shape in case they did call him to fight. So
he always trained.
Fight was
okay.
Jerry Quarry. He was in good shape.
Quarry, yeah.
Quarry. He was in good shape. We made sure that he stayed in shape because they could call it any time. So I made sure he stayed in shape at all times because it could happen at any moment. That's when they would try to get you off guard, for a fight. That's why they called Jerry Quarry the Great White Hope, because they think, Ali's been out of practice, but he made sure he stayed in practice. He did not lapse. He didn't get fat. He didn't get out of shape. He stayed in shape. That's why he won the very first fight with Jerry Quarry.
Yeah, my father said himself that Jerry Quarry could be a second contender next to him.
And Jerry Quarry, I told Ali, don't
make. He said, I'm not gonna call him a bum. He ain't a bum.
I told him don't call him no names because Jerry Quarry actually supported him during the trials of the war, Vietnam War. He said a man who wants to fight, he's a boxer, he deserved to fight. You shouldn't stop a man from fighting. And if he don't want to go to war, he don't have to go to war. Jerry Quarry and his family was very supportive of Ali when he stood up against.
I went to the office. You know what the office is?
Muhammed, you're on camera here.
Yeah. I'm trying to get this.
Put people on hold. You can't be interrupting Bruce's interview like that. Be nice.
Okay, my bag.
Okay, all right.
So tell me about now. These are things that people really don't know too much. Muhammad Ali was.
The book is going to be so important.
And I can't wait to help you sell it because I want to read it, and I hope I get an autographed copy of it.
My first book signing is going to be, God willing, in Dubai.
Oh, I won't be able to make that one. How about West Palm?
God willing, Dubai usually have a huge book festival during the month of November every year. And I talked to one of the sheikhs, Awad and the Green Sheikh out there in Dubai, and they're supporting me to come down there with the book. We're getting it translated into Arabic for the Arabic-speaking people, because a lot of our Muslim brethren speaks Arabic, and it's going to be translated in not only Arabic, but Spanish, French, and Afghani.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Sounds
By the way, there was a man by the name, Ali's friend by the name is Atta Amin Jan. He is from Afghanistan, but he has his own business in Washington, D.C. And he's the one that sponsored me to go to Afghanistan, because he, on his last days with Muhammad Ali, he told him he wanted to build a victory stadium when the war is over. And after 42 years of Afghanistanian war with the people there, and they're trying to rebuild Afghanistan to have something positive for peace. And that would be the Victory Stadium. And we will put it in Muhammad Ali's honor.
Wow.
I will be supporting and raising money and funds for the Victory Stadium, not only for the honor of Ali, but give the people of Afghanistan upliftment. So out of 42 years of war, they can rebuild and become better people in a better country like it was before.
And you certainly have traveled around the world, probably more than anybody, because we became friends on Facebook, and I'd see all these terrific people and all these terrific places you went to.
I loved it. I am a world traveler. I thank God for that opportunity that people want me in these countries to support our people. I just came from Islamabad last year, flying with the pilots of the of the Islamabad Pakistan Air Force. I am a pilot, a small pilot, not a real big one, but I have so many thousands of hours on my pilot's license, and encouraging women to be pilots. And a lot of that, a lot of women is restricted from doing a lot of things, but hopefully I'll encourage women to do more things that they really want to do. Good news. I've heard from um, the country of Senegal in Africa. They're inviting me down there to be an ambassador to Senegal and a Queen Mother to Senegal, and also to have citizenship in Senegal, because I'll be helping a lot of the women's and the girls there in Senegal and giving them positive upliftment of independence for women and women in business. And I should be going there inshallah at the end of July. And yeah, God willing, I'll be able to come back and share those stories with our American brethren and sisters here, to give them inspiration to go on. And we have a lot of beautiful people in America that has fought for their rights, have fought for positions in business and in politics, for them to get involved and be a part of this country, because it's so grand and so great.
Absolutely.
I gotta pick up the pieces from my mother, because she never really tells people she tells the truth, but she cuts out a lot of stuff. But my mother is actually an honorary Blue Angel.
Oh yeah,
Blue Angel. Wow.
Yeah. I got some of that in the book, Muhammad. Yeah, I went up.
I know, but I gotta tell something. I gotta tell something, man. I'm proud of you, Bobby. That's all I gotta say.
Muhammad, thank you. I'm gonna let you be my agent. Thank you very much.
I'm very proud of my mom.
The Blue Angels have a way of putting you in the plane and making you dropping you at 1,500 feet. And I go, "Is that all you got, brother?" And they go, "Oh, we got a pilot on our hands."
Yeah.
I've learned to do a 360 barrel roll up in the air with the plane. That means you turn the plane around and you see the ground upside down.
Oh my gosh.
It's the best high in the world, I'm telling you. So
wow.
I go to these neighborhoods down here where other brothers getting high. I'm gonna say, "You want to get high? I'll take you up. I'm gonna show them what high is all about."
Yeah.
And my mother also told me that she can land on a dime. Like, how planes land and they roll? She can land the plane. She can have it like upside down and land like a helicopter.
Oh my gosh. I don't know about that.
I don't know about that either, man. I might be a Top Gun, but that's pretty serious.
That's close to Mama Ali being able to walk on water. I think Muhammad believes that, and that's okay.
Water, not walk. Oh, I can walk on water. That's the easy part. The plane is hard.
So, Muhammad, I'd like to give you last words from you to share with us whatever you'd like to share, and that we have talked about.
I have actually a funny story about my father. One day he was coming to pick me up from my grandmother's house, and I didn't know Parkinson's was setting in at the time. And so he came and he picked me up, and it's a TNA stop before you get to the house in Michigan. My father had at the TNA stop, he kind of forgot he had me in the car. And luckily, I remember the number to Michigan, the house in Michigan. And I called and I talked to Lonnie. I was like, Lonnie, if you see Daddy before I see him, can you tell him to come back and get me? And she's like, okay, but he never made it home. So what happened was he turned back around. Maybe he had somebody in the car. So when he got back, I was crying at the time. I was like, Daddy, why'd you leave me? Don't ever do that again. He said, I forgot I had someone in the car. But I didn't know Parkinson's was setting in at the time.
It's a devastating disease, and it comes on so slowly, and you don't even know you have it, and it's it's a rough one.
And I asked my Uncle Rockman, I asked him, I said, is a Parkinson's disease, do you go through any pain? He said, no, you don't feel no pain. So it's not a disease that hurts you. It's a disease that makes you forget. You actually lose all your functions of your organs and stuff because the dopamine that the cell is actually Parkinson is named after this guy named Parkinson's, but it's a cell in the brain that makes dopamine, and that cell is destroyed, so the dopamine can't go to the motor systems and tell it what to do. It ends up shutting down the whole body.
Wow.
But you know what, Bruce? There's one other thing. I have 5 daughters and a son now. I had 2 more daughters after I remarried. But one thing I have to say that Rashida Ali, one of Ali, me and Ali's twin daughter, they all support the Parkinson Foundation. He has a book out about children who have parents and families who show them how to cope with Parkinson's. My daughter Miriam, our oldest daughter, she speaks on the Parkinson Foundation in different times in different areas. And I'm very proud of those 2 girls who are helping the people that has Parkinson's and the families that have Parkinson's. So you need to look them up. They have good books and good stories about it.
Excellent.
From the Parkinson's thing. And when you was talking to me before about Parkinson's and how fighters get hit all the time, it's not about them getting hit. I think it takes on a person who has extremely a lot of energy. And when they're used to having so much high energy all the time, Parkinson's tend to come and erupt those kind of people. Katharine Hepburn was a great actress, and she had one of the worst symptoms of Parkinson's, shaking, the nervous and everything. And she never stepped in a ring in her life. So it's not, Parkinson's is not keyed off from boxing or anything like that, but it does key off for people that has a lot of energy, who has a lot of energy. Katharine Hepburn used to have a lot of energy. Michael J. Fox, big energy ball guy. When he did all these movies and everything with the Back to the Future, this is a high octane energized person. So people who have high octane energized, and I worry about that with me because I'm high octane energy all the time. And I just pray I don't get it, but I'm thankful I'm in good health. I just visited my mom in Chicago. She just made 91. She looks gorgeous and cute. Yeah. She's so sweet, and her sister is 92, and they look so healthy, as young as I do, and they look as young as I do, and I feel great and thankful to God that I've helped my energy up. I'm 71 now, so at least I still got my energy, and so what we all have to do is pray to the Creator and thank Him for giving us energy and giving us day after day life. And wake up in the morning and thank Him for being, so you have another day, because we're not promised tomorrow. We have to cherish the time that we do have on earth and to try to be kind and goodwill to all men and women. And we just have to learn to be kind. We have to learn to be kind and really believe in that and help others. We have to respect people's belief. We have to respect people's way of voting. We have to respect Republicans. We respect Democrats. We have to respect each other, because we all are in this race and fight for survival and greatness.
Yeah, that's right. And that's
We
why I wanted you to be on. That's why I wanted you to be on the show, Inspirational, because you are very inspirational and you really do care, as I do and as Muhammad does, about other people. And it shows very clearly. I want to thank you guys.
thank you. And you know what? I want to thank all the people and condolences to all the people of the condominium in Miami. We want to give them condolences for their families, and we pray that they have peace in their life and be content because they're in a better place, and
Yes.
we cannot argue what God takes away. We have to appreciate that and give condolences and respect for those who passed away.
Yes. And God bless you too.
God bless you, Starr.
God bless you.
God bless you, Muhammad, Casey. Love. And I hope that we'll, in some way, stay together from time to time. And you let me know when the three of you are together here in Florida. I want to be a part of that. God bless you guys. See you two again.
Sting like the bees. Stop bullying. Be like Ali.
Assalamu alaikum.
You guys are the best.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Now a quick word from one of our sponsors. I've been told by a lot of the comedians I knew and represented during the 80s, I looked the same as I did 40 years ago. And come to think of it, I still have my thick brown hair and just a few wrinkles. But most importantly for me, by simply applying the completely safe human growth hormone homeopathic gel on my skin just 2 times a day, the depression and panic attacks I suffered from years ago were gone in just 2 weeks. And then I started deep sleeping for many hours at night. You know, you can have the gel work for you too. To find out more, contact me at bruce@brucestarproductions.com.